welcome to my channel for the second episode of the Budget Lolita series. In this episode, we'll be looking more at the fundamentals of a Lolita wardrobe and getting your wardrobe ratios right. By having some planning at the back of your mind for your Lolita wardrobe, this will help avoid any pricey Lolita mistakes in poor purchases. If you've set yourself up well with planning with episode 1, episode 2 will take versatility in coordinates further. Before we go into the fundamentals of a Lolita wardrobe, a common mistake is buying too much of something in one area, which limits the potential coordinates you could have had by investing your funds in another area. I'm going to try my best to explain this, so bear with me. On a very basic level, let's say Lolita wardrobes only needed dresses and headwear. If I was limited to 6 Lolita items, so I bought 5 Lolita dresses and 1 set of headwear, I would be limited to only 5 different coordinates. However, if I instead, with my 6 items I could buy, bought 3 Lolita dresses and 3 different headwear, it means I'm now open to 9 different coordinates, which is more than the 5 originally. On a bigger scale, if I was only limited to 10 items and I bought 9 dresses and 1 headwear, I'd only be available to 9 coordinates. And of course, with my 10 items, if I instead bought 5 headpieces and 5 dresses, 5 times 5 is 25, so I'd have 25 different combinations instead. What I'm trying to say is that by spreading out your funds into different areas of a Lolita wardrobe instead of just one area, such as dresses, which is really tempting to do at the beginning, this will allow more versatility and optimization for more coordinates available to you, especially where you're on a budget where buying simply more isn't always an option. By having an idea of your wardrobe ratios, this should help create a solid backbone to your wardrobe. It stops you overspending in areas more than you really need, and it allows you to maximize potential coordinates. Of course, you all know a Lolita wardrobe doesn't consist of just dresses and headwear. So for the second part of this video, I'm going to go lay down all the different parts of a Lolita wardrobe for all the things you need on a pretty basic level. While there's no hard and fast rule, I'm going to go give you an idea of the ratios of my wardrobe for a ballpark figure of what you might need or what you might be aiming to look for when you build yours. So there's something called Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, which talks about the theory of motivation. How about Kimmet's candy corn of Lolita needs, which is how a Lolita should be motivated in budgeting for a wardrobe? Essentially things at the top of the candy corn. You want to have less with better quality that you can afford, and as you go to the bottom, you want more kind of quantity than quality, and you can kind of get away with slipping things that aren't necessarily Lolita in. The truth is that you don't need much, and you don't need to spend much when you're on a budget, so hopefully this will give you a good idea. So let's go to the candy corn for the fundamentals of a Lolita wardrobe. So, what is in mystery spot 1? I'd say it's the most important thing, which is your petticoat. Just make sure you get a good quality one, because that way you won't be stacking up cheaper thin ones that keep deflating. I made the mistake of buying a cheap one off eBay when I first begun, and it was utterly useless because, sometimes the pictures look great and it comes in and it's like, nope, that is not the same thing. The one I currently have that I can vouch for is one from Classical Puppets, and I might make a review of it in the future so you can know what to expect. By investing in a good petticoat from the start, it would save you losing funds on all the useless ones, so trust me on this one because I've made the mistake myself. Spot 2 goes for your JSKs or OPs, or jumper skirts on one pieces. You want them to last long and be good quality, or they're kind of your statement pieces that everyone sees. Truth, however, is that you don't really need that many. You can only kind of wear one dress at a time. So I recommend you just save up for the dresses you really want, as it's kind of better being able to coordinate them differently than just having more. To give you an idea of my wardrobe, I only currently have 4 JSKs and 1 OP. I would also just mention that you want to be careful with buying one pieces because they're definitely not as versatile as JSKs and being able to change the blouses. Since you're mostly wearing blouses under your JSKs, this is where you can get away with sneaking some non-Lolita specific blouses in. I'll cover this topic more in episode 3, but essentially since you're usually only seeing the collars and the sleeves of the blouses, you can usually find some pretty good finds at the thrift store. I actually have 6 off-brand blouses, or just stuff I found in thrift stores, and 1 brand blouse, so it kind of shows what you can get away with. And if you can look at all my other videos and be like, oh, which of the blouses is she wearing? that is actually brand. Or have I not worn any brand blouses? Would you know? Spot 4 is essentially your socks and tights. Because you can get socks pretty cheaply that can be off-brand, this is where you can definitely have more. So I currently own 8 pairs of socks and tights. Spot 5 are your headpieces and headwear. You can have a nice mixture of brand and off-brand pieces here, I suppose. Many things you can find cheap locally can go with your coordinates. I currently have 12 headpieces in total, which means I have some nice options in changing it up with headwear each time. Finally, spot 6 goes to your jewelry. Honestly, I don't even want to count this as I have obtained a lot of just random jewelry from gifts or like thrift stores or things that I just kind of picked up somehow. I don't know. If you want a large variety, it kind of depends on your coordinates as well. So like I would kind of like look at what you've got in coordinates and then go pick on the jewelry on what works. Because like for example, if my coordinate is like all gold based, you probably want to be having a look at like gold jewelry. Or for example, if it's silver based, you want a lot more silver jewelry. So once again, jewelry is one of those things that you just have a lot of and you kind of like an after thing where you're like, okay, that goes with that. So I've purposely left out cardigans, bags, and skirts as they kind of fall in the it depends category. If you're more in a winter climate, you probably need more cardigans and coats. Versus you're in a summer, then you probably won't need them. Furthermore, I do favor JSKs over skirts, to be honest. So I can't really comment on this one. And you'll probably see why when I talk about blouses in part 3. Also, the other thing is that there are bags, but once again, I just kind of use what I've got. I've got only one Lolita bag, and to be honest, it's kind of small, so I just kind of use like other bags that can fit my stuff in. Lolita problems. Anyways, currently as like the score settles, I have like one cardigan, one skirt, and one Lolita bag. That's kind of all I use. So the ratios come in for me being like 1 petticoat, 4 JSKs with 1 OP, 6 blouses, 8 pair of socks, and 12 headpieces. So the truth is I don't think you need a lot. Like you might look at other wardrobes and they have like tons and tons of dresses and you're like, I think when you're in a budget, once again, you're going for versatility. You can have just as a good wardrobe if you kind of plan it out. And you don't need to be going for all like more and more and more. I hope this gives a nice summary to the foundation of a wardrobe and ratios. Part 3 will begin to look at integrating non-Lolita items into your wardrobe carefully. I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to like and subscribe so I know you want more videos. Thank you for watching and ta-ta for now!